after the insane market we saw in 2021 and the first half of 2022, the second half was quite a bit different. We went from homes getting multiple offers well over list price to homes sitting on the market, builders that had to offer huge incentives and lower their prices, and resale sellers that had to follow suit with the same thing. And by the end of December, all of the home price appreciation that we had gained in 2022 had gone to zero. The first signs that showed us our market was shifting was an increase in the list price reductions. Then we saw an increase in days on market before a home received an offer. And finally, we saw the number of seller concessions increase drastically. After that is when we started to see our home prices decline and a loss in home price appreciation. While all of this was happening, we began to see the Fed hike the Fed's fund rate significantly, which really threw our market into a tailspin as interest rates rose and rose fast. Now, in 2023, buying and selling a home is going to look a little bit different than it has in the last few years. Once we saw our market start shifting, mortgage interest rates start to rise, buyers and sellers both decided to pull back out of the market, sit on the sidelines to wait to see what's happening. So what is our 2023 market going to look like? And how long are buyers and sellers going to sit on the sidelines? And what should buyers and sellers look out for in 2023? First of all, I want to caution both buyers and sellers to not read every single headline they see or listen to. See, when these analysts are looking at year-over-year numbers and comparing the start of 2022 to the start of 2023, well, I can tell you that news is not going to sound great. And I'm not sure that we have ever seen a market start off as strong as it did in 2022. And 2023 is just not going to be the same, especially when we just came out of the fourth quarter that we did, showing our market slow significantly. And although the fourth quarter of every year is always our slowest time for sales, this past fourth quarter was the slowest that we had seen in quite a few years. In fact, December's monthly sales were down 45% this year as compared to last year. And listings under contract were down nearly 42%. But I can honestly tell you that from January 2nd, my phone has been ringing more and my emails have increased significantly from clients, both buyers and sellers, looking to either sell their house or ready to buy. Now, I am not trying to tell you that we are heading back into the same crazy market that we just came out of. And I do agree with those predicting that we will see overall less number of homes sold in 2023 than we did in 2022. But I am also not one that believes we are heading for a crash. And I don't mean to burst your bubble on this one either, but we will not see a spike in foreclosures. Now, I have talked about the Cromford Market Index on my channel before, and in November, we actually fell below 90, which put us in a buyer's market for the first time in a very long time. But we were only there for 4 weeks, because in the last 3 weeks of the year, we saw that Cromford Market Index rise to just below 100, and in January, we tipped it over 100 again. And that puts us back into a balanced market. And in some cities, we are still in a seller's market. From this chart, you can see all the green arrows showing that every single city, except for Goodyear, had an increase in the CMI over the last month. And all of those that are between 90 and 110 are all in a balanced market. All those above 110 are in a seller's market. And anything below 90, well, they are in a buyer's market. Something to note about most of the cities that are in those buyer's market. Those are the cities that are a little bit on the outskirts and have the most amount of new construction. That was adding to the inventory in our market, and it really shifted the market and put a lot of those cities into that buyer's market. But even those cities are shifting back towards the seller. Now, something to note, one of the biggest reasons that we saw our market pull back is because our demand started to shift. And this was all because the mortgage interest rates, which spiked and hit their highest point on November 10th, over 7%. But since that time, those mortgage interest rates have actually begun to fall. And currently, we sit right around the mid-6s. And this, coupled with home prices coming down, has actually given the buyers some of their buying power back. And that drop in interest rates has actually increased our demand. As far as where the mortgage rates are going to go in 2023, it really is anyone's guess. I personally am on the same side as those believing that we are going to get into the 5s. Now, I don't think this is going to happen until closer to mid-2023, and I think at the beginning of our year, we could see a bumpy ride with our interest rates. But I don't see our interest rates getting into the 7s again. Now, I know some believe that there's no way that this is going to happen because the Fed is going to continue raising the Fed funds rate to continue to fight against inflation, especially after the jobs numbers that we just received. rate. And I don't disagree with that. However, just because the feds raise the Fed's funds rate does not mean that our mortgage interest rates will also rise. This is all great news for buyers because, as I mentioned, with prices coming down as well as the interest rates coming down, it gives them more buying power. Their ability to again be able to negotiate on price as well as seller concessions to help them buy down the rate even further. This is helping to bring homes back into a more affordable range for buyers. The places where buyers could see some real opportunity are a few different areas, and one of them are from the iBuyers. These sellers have been continually reducing their prices, and I have seen some pretty big seller concessions that these sellers are offering just to get these homes sold. I mean, concessions in the amount of $20,000 or more. Just to put that into perspective, the average seller concession right now in our market is about $9,500. The one thing you need to know about buying these homes is that they will oftentimes need work. So it's something that you need to make sure that you have added into your budget. Now, the other opportunity for buyers is new construction. Many of these builders have homes that are under construction, that are not sold and will soon be completed, which means they will have vacant, completed homes that are not sold. When that happens, these builders are willing to make a deal. In fact, I have even had salespeople at these builders' offices tell me that when I've called asking questions for a client. They need to get these homes sold so they don't lose more money while they're carrying this vacant, completed home. Now, many of these builders have been down this road before and they do not want to get caught out like they did the last time. So they are being extra cautious and they are pulling back, not pulling any more building permits and just slowing their building down. Now, because of that, what we see happening is that when our market changes, and it will, this could put us back into the same position we just came out of, with extremely low inventory. Now, this will not be happening this year, and it will likely not be happening next year. But because these builders are going to pull back and pull back drastically, not pull any more permits, this is when we could see the new construction sector of our market just come to a standstill. So where are prices headed in 2023 in the Phoenix market? Well, as I mentioned, our market is starting to move in favor for the sellers again. And this is really based purely on supply and demand. Our demand has started to increase and our supply has started to decrease. We are also entering into our hottest time of the market. This is when it is normal for us to see a spike in inventory and a spike in contracts. This happens every year between January and May, no matter what type of market we're in. So what I see for those sellers that need to sell their house is they will need to get very aggressive with their pricing. And they might even have to do at least one price reduction, especially if their home is not in tip-top shape and in a great location. Now, for those that want to sell but don't have to sell, if your home is in a great location and is in great tip-top shape, you still have to be very aware of your pricing. But if you price it right from the beginning, you will likely get a contract rather quickly. Now, when I say that, understand that our average days on market right now are 56 days, not 2. Now, I do think that for the first half of the year, we will see our prices come down just a bit more. But as our interest rates come down and more buyers come back into the market, I see that changing and I see a stabilization in our market. But no, I do not see our prices rising this year. I do see them stabilizing. And when they stabilize for a few months in a row, this is going to bring confidence back to the buyers. And it's going to allow them to come back into the market and feel good about making a purchase. And for sellers, this market has got to be navigated very carefully. The pricing and condition of your home has to be discussed and has to be put in the best light possible so that you can get the most money out of your home. Overall, the market for 2023 will be slower than we've seen for the last 2 years. But we are sitting in a balanced market heading into the hottest time of the market for home sales. I have personally seen and felt the market heat up since the beginning of January. So although I think that 2022 could be a little bit bumpy in the beginning of the year, by mid-year, towards the end of the year, I think we're going to see some stabilization and we are going to be back into a more normal market. Now, if you like this video, make sure you take a look at this one. If I can answer any questions for you, please feel free to reach out. As always, I thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.